Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast with Francesca Moi, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in your business.
Hello, and welcome to episode number 145 of Business Behind the Scene. How are you guys doing? Is everything okay? How is business? How is life? Are you balancing things out? Have you finally found a way to work less and make the same money or even more? Where are you at? I just wanted to connect with you guys and really ask you, because sometimes as business owners, people don't really ask us, how are you? How are you doing? How are you coping? What has been happening? It's something that I wish sometimes people ask me more, and I realized that as business owners, we don't ask each other enough, how are you? And we don't support one another enough. I'm seeing a lot of collaborations happening with the big names and not enough collaboration happening in the smaller part of business. And it's sad because what I'm noticing is the more successful you are, the more abundant our brain becomes, and the more the business doesn't go well, the more scarcity we have. And it's such a pity because business is about people, business is about collaboration, business is about helping one another, business is about putting ourselves out there and going to networking events and meeting people and supporting one another rather than hiding. And a lot of us start the business with the intention to, create this amazing lifestyle. And then we find ourselves working around the clock and being exhausted and closing down and shutting down and not letting many people in. So business owners to business owner, how are you? How are you doing? What is going on? Have you got anybody to talk to? Do you work from home? And this is why one of the things that I love about having a virtual assistant, I'm never alone. I'm alone physically in the office at the moment. I've got everybody working virtually, but I can catch up with my team anytime I want, and I don't feel alone because of that. So if you're a business owner and you're still working alone, just consider really bringing someone in virtually to help you and support you morally, emotionally, and also, business-wise, right, to get more things done. Like this morning, I did a little story on Instagram and I said, hey, girls, can you please put it together in a reel? I can just do one thing and then I can ask them to repurpose it, or, it's like we can have procedure in place to do that or things like that. So I choose to run the business not alone, so that it's a lot easier for me to manage my mindset. I notice that a lot of people do business alone and then they are resentful to the business, or they are upset with the business because they feel it's the business fault if I am in this position. But we get to choose, and I wanted to remind you that you have a choice. You have a choice if you want to do this alone or if you want to include some other people in. And I want to remind you that there is abundance of clients, abundance of, anything. And just stood up for business owners most often. This is the one that is like delusional and like, oh yeah, I'm going to have 200 people pay me $40 by the end of the month. And it's like, do you know that, it's a number? Is that, you got to do things. You're not going to send one email and those people are going to show up. Like you're going to, there's got to be things that you got to do for people to make that decision, for that many people to make that decision. Like I'm not saying that it's not possible. It's possible with the correct action attached to that. So there's people that are delusional, that they expect way too much results, way too fast without not enough action. And then there is the opposite of people that don't believe that's never going to happen, and so they don't take action because they don't believe. And so what I've worked really hard in my business is to find the balance of believing is going to happen and take the necessary action for me to make it happen. And if I take an action and things don't really show up, challenge my brain to still believe that it's going to happen, still believe it is possible. And it's an ongoing progress. we've got to do it. We've got to work on it. We've got to master it, because we just don't want to just fall into the trap that the brain usually offers. Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't about this today podcast, but I just thought that I just need to remind you as a business owner to go, are you looking after your mental health? Are you looking after your brain, your belief system, and are you matching your business to that? Because remember, your business is a 3D printout of your thoughts. I say that a lot. And sometimes we just need to stop and really think about what am I creating in my business and why, and match it. All right, so today I really wanted to chat with you guys about something that I get asked quite a lot, which is how can I delegate to my virtual assistant effectively? What can I do to really make sure that I work with my virtual assistant in a way that they understand that you want to create the best environment possible for your virtual assistant, and you want to do that not just for them, but for the legacy that you're creating in your business. And I remember lots of things that when I first started a business, I didn't do it. I wish that I did. And so here we are. So number one is how to communicate with a virtual assistant. We're using Slack to communicate with a virtual assistant. I did mention this in one of the previous podcasts, and Slack is a free communication tool that will change your life. It's so amazingly automated. And this is one thing that I've noticed. I get even clients that pay me to tell them what to do with a virtual assistant. And then they say, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like that. And I understand that you're a business owner. You can do whatever you want. But also sometimes we need to give something a go for a little bit longer than 5 minutes for us to make up our mind if it's going to be a useful tool for our business or if it's not. And sometimes as business owners, we want things yesterday. We want things so fast, right? Like, I want this easy, and if it's not easy, I'm not going to use it. And I understand that, you can do whatever you want. And sometimes is like challenging our brain to go, why don't I like this platform? What is, did I give it a really good go? Did I give it the time that it needs? Did I give it the engagement that this need? Or did I just go for 5 minutes and go, nope, don't like it. That's it. Because I didn't like Slack when I first started. Like, honestly, I hated it. I was like, come on, team, a new thing? Come on. I'm enjoying Viber or WhatsApp. I send you thousands of messages a day, but nobody could keep up. Nobody could move those messages into a task management tool. They couldn't understand what we were talking about. The conversation couldn't be put into threads so that we could actually understand what we're talking about. It was all over the place. So I just wanted to remind you, there is a reason behind the choice of tools that I already shared with you in one of the podcasts. And I just wanted to remind you, it's important that you give it a good go. Like, when I say give it a good go, means use it for a month. Commit for a month properly. And if you really hate it at the end of the month, then maybe you can stop if you want to. All right, next one is make sure that if you have any feedback for your virtual assistant, don't just do it in writing. When you do it feedback in writing, the virtual assistant cannot understand where you come from. They cannot understand your energy behind that. They cannot understand what is happening. It's just very hard for them to have constructive feedback on a text. So what we suggest is to just bring them on a Zoom call and organize that and say, look, come onto the Zoom call. We're going to go through this thing. I can give you feedback. So I do that with my sales team. I do that with my virtual assistant team. I do that with everything so that I can see them and they can understand where I come from, and we can really get to know each other a little bit better, and also build that relationship where there is trust. I can tell you that something was done wrong and nobody's in trouble, and we can still have a laugh about it. We can still have a good conversation about it, and that's something that I really love about what I created in my business. Number 3 is really, when you're delegating something, really break down the task into really small steps rather than just assuming that they will know the small steps. And this is the biggest mistake, because a lot of us, we're just passing on a task without thinking it through. And that's because we're busy. And sometimes we think, oh, if I have to break it down so much, I might as well do it. And it's like, yeah, for one time, would be the truth. But if you're looking in long term, if you're able to break down a task into smaller steps, what happens that first and foremost is really good for your brain, because you get to learn how to delegate properly, and this will help you with anybody, and also sometimes it help you with your clients as well. So I strongly recommend to do that for your own brain, to really practice this new tool, a task, because it's actually a new part of the brain that you're going to be using to break it down such as small pieces. And also it's going to be easier to digest for your virtual assistant and to follow. So we are avoiding back and forth as well. So if you give a task that's like, here, do this as a big chunk, the virtual assistant is gonna, if you leave space for interpretation, the virtual assistant is gonna do it the way that they think that you wanted that to be done, and that means that you're gonna come back to you, and you're gonna have to go back and say, no, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. That means that they wasted time, you wasted time, and now they're gonna go back and do it again and try to understand what you wanted. When if you just did it on the first place in the first time, it might take you 5 extra minutes, but then the task when it comes to you is 90% perfect, right? And so, well, not that we're aiming for perfect, but you know what I mean, right? It's doable. The task is done, is considered done, it's fine. You can use it, right? So breaking down tasks into smaller steps can help not just you, but your virtual assistant and your business, right? Ultimately, that's what we want, is helping the business. Create a Loom video with share screen for the virtual assistant to really follow the task you want them to do. So when we are sharing a task, I don't usually like to write it down. I like to bring them into record a Loom video for them if I'm busy, but usually I like to have a Zoom call and then record Zoom call live with them so that I can ask questions if they don't understand. If they do understand, I can ask them to repeat what I asked them to do. I can, create together a quick procedure to make sure that that's something that for the future is done and dusted. Like, it's just more personable. And again, we are working on building a relationship with those virtual assistants. So the more time we spend on Zoom, the better it is for the business, for the culture, for everything that you are creating, that you're building, or the legacy that you're building. And then the task that you're giving to your virtual assistant, make sure that you go ahead and do it with your virtual assistant, right? With the virtual assistant is like super important that you actually do it, like let them watch you. So tell them what you want them to do. Do one example of it, and then let them go and write a procedure from that recording, and then go back on the same Zoom call and actually now watch them follow that procedure. And if it doesn't work, if it doesn't work out, then might want to let them edit it, give them feedback while you're there. So there is not going to be any mistake. You don't want the virtual assistant and you, right? You don't want to set yourself up for failure. You want to make sure that you go and check the work for the first few times until you're confident and they're confident that they can just do the task and do it successfully. And this is one of the things that I really probably did wrong at the beginning of my business. I would just let everybody waste so much time, which time is money at the end of the day. And I just don't want that to happen to you. And I'm trying to really bring that across. So like, usually when a virtual assistant doesn't work is because we as business owners failed at something. And honestly, not long ago it happened to me. I've assumed I hire a virtual assistant. I'm like, I've got 8 staff members now as virtual assistant. They can definitely train them and train this new person and do all of what's necessary. And because there wasn't one person to be referred to, and there was a few mistakes that we made, this person got really overwhelmed and didn't really want to stay working for us, and it was devastating. We're like, oh my gosh, no. They quit. And look at that as we failed that person. That person was not looked after. We didn't pass the task correctly, and we teach these things. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like the gardener, right? This garden is a mess. It's like, oh no, and it's not. My virtual assistant are amazing. We just had this new person that didn't keep up, and on honesty, the business was in transition, and everything was very new for us, and anyway, so it didn't work out, and sometimes it doesn't work out. This is the thing that I wanted to remind you all, like hiring a virtual assistant. We're very, very good at what we do, and 90% of the time we nail it at the first go. But sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3 times. There is literally a friend of mine at the moment that is bought a virtual assistant service with me, and we had to, go through a couple of people for him to find the right person, and it's devastating. It's like, no, I would like to get it right the first time, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. And I don't know if you ever hired other people in your business, and it takes a while to find the right match, right? Even the curriculum looks amazing, and on paper they look good. Then the interview might not go as well, or you trial it and it doesn't work out the first couple of weeks. So it happens, right? People are people, and we have to really find the right match. But 90% of the time we nail it, this is why we are the best virtual assistant agency in the world. And we're actually going global, which is really cool. We've got a couple of clients in Canada and US, and also Israel, and we're expanding a lot, which is really, really, really cool. So this is what we recommend. And when you do join our virtual assistant agency and hire a virtual assistant from us, all of these in details and more is explained in a onboarding course that I have done for my clients, and everything is in there, and it just bloody amazing. You can get all the information that you need for you to successfully onboard a virtual assistant, so that you have the systems and everything that I suggest is in there for you to use. So hopefully you guys love this podcast. And if you're a business owner, and no matter how big your business is, we have a business that is on 5 million at the moment, and they hire one of our virtual assistants, and it's an actual store. And they're like, oh my gosh, why did we didn't think about that before? It's so amazing to have someone online to update our website, to take care of our social media, and it's just so easy. And we don't have to use the staff in Australia to do tasks that can be done from the Philippines, which is fantastic. So we have businesses that are making $50,000 a year for 5 million, which is that business that I was telling you about. So there's lots of different variety. We have tattoo businesses, we have hairdressers, we have real estate agents, we have coaches, we have stores, we have all different type of businesses. And the reason why it works is because we are expert at getting organized. And so the virtual assistant are trained in getting organized. They're not trained, like they're also trained in some of my marketing strategies on social media, but they're mainly trained on getting organized. So which means it can work for any business. So if you're listening to this, and I know that you're there and you've been pondering the idea of hiring someone, then just give it a go. Book a game changer call with me or one of my team. And once you book a call, you will see what we can do and how a virtual assistant could help your business. And this might, change your life. This might have been the dream of yours, to be able to finally work less and finally have a bit more structure into your business and really be able to enjoy what you've created. So, step away and let us find someone that can take over some of the things that you have been working really hard on, and you don't really need to do those things anymore. You can pass them along. So if you've been on the hedge, just book a call, and I look forward to help you out and support you. By the way, not always, but at the moment, so when you do join, you can ask if you want. We have a special that I'm so confident that when people try one of our virtual assistant, they will hire them. That at the moment I'll just put it out to my database, and it's already gone. So if you're listening to this, it's already gone. And by the time that you listen to this, it's probably in 2 weeks' time. So it's definitely going to be gone. But you never know. If you ask, we might have that coming up, or we might have that available. Sometimes we offer a free trial of our virtual assistant, because I know for sure that when people try our virtual assistant, they love them so much. So we've done it now twice, and who knows, we might do it again. And it's so good, right? Because it's like, you're on the fence, you don't know if you want a virtual assistant, let me show you. It's so amazing. There's no risk for you, right? You're just working with someone for free for a week. And if you love them, then you hire them. There we go. So if you're interested, just book a call, and I look forward to see what task can be delegated in that week. It's a 10-hour week, by the way, what we are doing that week. But if you hire a virtual assistant after that, you can hire them for 20 or 40 hours or whatever you want. And I look forward to have you and help your business grow and scale and really start to remove you, because that's what a true success is, right? I was just saying that the other day, true success is not just about making money. It's about making money while having the best lifestyle. So if your lifestyle is not in point yet and you're working really hard, let's just change that. Let's just change the trajectory of your business. All right, thank you for listening. Have a fabulous day, and let's delegate. Let's delegate everything. Let's go.
Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, then you have to come to check out our Facebook group, Workshop Secrets for Coaches. It's a community of over 9,500 coaches that are ready to boom their business by running workshops. They are stuck in one-on-one coaching and they're ready to start to go one-to-many. So if you are one of those coaches, then you have to join us. I look forward to see you there. And hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave me a review to win a ticket to one of my workshops. I look forward to see you there.